Rain hammers the
It's gonna be
asphalt.
okay, son.
Columbus, Ohio. Midnight turns to morning. The parking lot of Riverside Elementary School gleams black under sodium lights. Water pools around 103 Harley-Davidson
It's okay to
motorcycles,
feel that way.
arranged in perfect
I'm here to
formation
listen
like a
whenever
steel
you're ready to
battalion
talk.
awaiting orders. In the center of this circle stands a boy, 10 years old, barely 60 pounds, gray hoodie plastered to his skeletal frame, shivering, not from the cold. A man kneels before him.
Listen
Big,
closely, kid.
weathered,
This is
gray
serious,
beard
and there's
streaked
no
with
going
rain.
back now.
Leather vest bearing patches that tell stories of deserts and highways and brotherhood. His hands, scarred and massive, rest gently on the boy's trembling shoulders. "Son," the man says, voice like gravel and compassion ground together. "You're safe now. They'll never touch you again." The boy looks up, blue eyes too old for his face, eyes that have learned to see without being seen, eyes that stopped expecting rescue 7 months ago. "I promise you, Lucas, on everything I am, you're not invisible anymore." Behind them, 102 men stand in the rain, silent, witnesses, angels in leather armor. The boy named Lucas Bennett opens his mouth, and for the first time in 214 days, he allows himself to believe. Pause. Freeze this moment, because before we understand how a 10-year-old child and 103 bikers came to stand together in a school parking lot at midnight, before we comprehend what drove ordinary men to extraordinary action, before we witness what happens when the invisible finally becomes seen, we need to go back 24 hours to the moment everything changed. Today, 47, Thursday, May 15th, 2025, 3:45 p.m. Room 214, 4th grade, Riverside Elementary. 23 children pack backpacks with the controlled chaos of impending freedom. Laughter, chatter, the electric energy of kids who know the weekend waits just beyond the final bell. 23 children. And one ghost. Lucas Bennett sits at his desk in the third row, back corner, the position he's claimed every day for 7 months. Maximum distance from the teacher's desk. Clear sight line to both doors. Back against the wall. Old habits from places children shouldn't learn them. He moves slowly, carefully, placing his single notebook into a backpack that's more holes than fabric. The notebook contains 17 pages of schoolwork, the rest torn out weeks ago to share with 2 younger girls who had none. His gray hoodie, the same gray hoodie he's worn for 47 consecutive school days, hangs loose on his frame. Too big, sleeves pulled down past his wrists, covering his hands even in the 78-degree classroom. Always the sleeves. Mrs. Marlowe Sullivan notices. 41 years old, 13 years teaching 4th grade, 5'6", auburn hair starting to silver at the temples, reading glasses on a beaded chain. The kind of teacher who remembers every student's name 5 years later, who brings extra granola bars and pretends she packed too much lunch. Who counts? On her desk sits a black composition notebook. Not the official gradebook, her personal observation log. A habit developed after too many years of seeing too many things that made her stomach twist. She opens to the current page, adds a careful mark. Day 47, Lucas Bennett, gray hoodie, long sleeves despite heat, avoided eye contact during group work, fell asleep during silent reading. 3rd time this week, hands shaking when reaching for pencil. 47 days, 47 marks. 47 identical observations of a boy slowly disappearing while sitting in plain sight. The bell rings. 23 children surge toward freedom. Backpacks, shouts, see you Monday, plans for movies and sleepovers, and the ordinary magic of childhood. Lucas moves last, always last, waiting until the stampede passes. Until he can slip through the chaos unnoticed, unseen. "Lucas!" Mrs. Sullivan's voice cuts through the noise. Gentle, firm, the tone that stops children without scaring them. "Stay for a moment, please." The boy freezes, eyes dart to the door, calculating distance, escape routes. The mathematics of a child who's learned that adults asking you to stay rarely ends well. But Mrs. Sullivan isn't moving towards him. She's standing by her desk, backpack already on her shoulder, car keys in hand, not blocking the exit, just asking. "You're not in trouble," she adds. I just need to talk to you for a minute. Lucas nods, barely perceptible, moves to her desk with the careful steps of someone crossing a minefield. The last student leaves. The hallway noise fades. Room 214 becomes an island. Mrs. Sullivan pulls a chair next to hers, sits, brings herself to Lucas's eye level. An old trick, never tower over a frightened child. Lucas, she begins, choosing words like she's defusing a bomb. I've been your teacher for 8 months now, and I've noticed some things. The boy's jaw tightens. Hands disappear further into his sleeves. You're smart, really smart. Your essay on the water cycle last month, best in class. Your math scores are excellent. You pay attention, you follow rules, you help other students when they struggle. A pause, let the praise land. Let him know this isn't an attack. But Lucas, you've worn the same hoodie every single day since January. You fall asleep in class. You flinch when I walk past your desk. You hide food in your backpack. And your hands. She reaches out slowly, telegraphing every movement. Gives him time to pull away if he needs to. He doesn't. Her fingers touch the cuff of his sleeve. Your hands shake, sweetheart, like you're cold. But it's not cold in here. Silence. The clock ticks. Outside, a lawnmower drones. Somewhere down the hall, a janitor's cart rattles. Lucas looks at his desk, at the floor, at the window. Anywhere but at Mrs. Sullivan's eyes. Lucas, she says, and something in her voice has changed. Softer now, almost breaking. I need you to trust me. Can you show me why you always wear long sleeves, even when it's hot outside? The boy's chest rises, falls, rises again, breathing like he's just run a marathon. His internal voice, the one that's kept him alive for 7 months, screams at him, don't show her, don't tell her. Adults don't believe kids. Adults believe other adults. Kate and Robert look perfect. You look like a problem. They'll say you're lying. They'll say you're trouble. And when you go back to it, it'll be worse, so much worse. But another voice, quieter, weaker. The voice that still remembers hope. She's counting. 47 days. She's paying attention. Nobody pays attention. Maybe. Lucas's hand trembles as it reaches for his left sleeve. Slowly. So slowly. He pulls the fabric up. 5 inches. 6. 7. And there. Bruises. Purple ones. Fresh. Maybe 2 days old. Yellow ones fading at the edges. A week old. Maybe more. Green ones at the strange in-between stage. Dark finger-shaped marks on pale skin. The unmistakable pattern of an adult hand gripping a child's arm hard enough to hurt. Hard enough to leave evidence. Multiple bruises, multiple stages of healing. Not an accident, a pattern. Mrs. Sullivan's professional mask, the one she's worn for 13 years, the one that stays calm through vomit and tears and parents yelling about grades, cracks. Her hand goes to her mouth. Oh, Lucas. The boy's eyes fill, not crying yet, holding it back with everything he has. Because crying is weakness. Crying makes it worse. Crying means you've lost. But his voice, when it comes, is barely a whisper. Mrs. Sullivan, please don't make me go back there. And there it is, the sentence that changes everything. The moment the invisible boy finally speaks. Mrs. Sullivan has been a teacher for 13 years. She's seen poverty, neglect, the grinding damage of parents who try but can't quite manage. She's seen kids come to school hungry, wearing the same clothes, carrying burdens no child should carry. But she's never seen this. She pulls her chair closer, keeps her voice steady even as her hands shake. Lucas, sweetheart, I need you to be honest with me. Who did this to you? The boy's jaw works, mouth opening, closing, words dying before they reach air. Finally, I fell. The automatic lie. The one foster kids learned before they learned to read. The one drilled into them through fear and repetition. I fell. I'm clumsy. I bruise easy. It was an accident. Sweetheart, Mrs. Sullivan's voice stays gentle but carries steel underneath. Those are finger marks. Someone grabbed you. Someone held you hard enough to hurt. I need to know who. Silence. Then so quiet it's almost not there. If I tell, if you call them, they'll know I told. They'll know, and it'll be worse. Please, Mrs. Sullivan, please. The teacher feels something cold settle in her stomach. The professional part of her brain, the mandatory reporter training, the legal obligations, the protocol, wars with the human part that just wants to grab this child and run. Lucas, she says carefully, are you safe at home? Long pause, the boy's shoulders slump, like a string's been cut, like he's carried a weight so long he forgot what standing straight felt like. No, ma'am. Are Scarlett and Ainsley safe? His foster sisters, 8 and 6 years old, two younger girls placed with the same family 3 months after Lucas arrived. The boy's face crumples. No, we're all scared. And that's when Mrs. Marlowe Sullivan makes the call that will bring 103 motorcycles to a school parking lot, but not the call everyone expects. She doesn't dial Child Protective Services. She doesn't call the police. She reaches for her cell phone and scrolls to a contact she hasn't used in months. A contact simply labeled Nathan. She presses call. It rings twice. Marlowe? A man's voice. Deep, rough around the edges. Surprised. Everything okay? Nathan, she says, and her voice is controlled, but he can hear what she's not saying. 20 years of teaching together, working literacy programs, volunteering. He knows her fear sounds. I'm at school. I need you here. Now. The voice sharpens, goes from casual to tactical in a heartbeat. What's wrong? You hurt? I'm fine, but I have a 10-year-old student who just showed me fingerprint bruises on his arms. He's a foster kid, been with his foster parents 7 months, Nathan. 7 months, he's malnourished, wearing the same clothes for 47 days straight, falls asleep in class from hunger and exhaustion. He sleeps locked in a basement with 2 other foster kids. She pauses, forces the next words out. The foster parents are collecting almost $10,000 a month and spending maybe $400 on all 3 children. Nathan Walsh, literacy volunteer, former high school teacher, and president of the Columbus chapter of Hell's Angels, takes a sharp breath. Jesus, where's the kid now? In my classroom. I'm not letting him go back to that house. But I need backup. His caseworker will call the foster parents. I need people who will actually protect him. I'm 15 minutes out. Nathan's voice shifts into command mode. And Marlowe, I'm calling Priest. This is Code Fallen Youth. Code what? You'll understand. How many kids in that house? 3. Lucas is 10, 2 girls, sisters, 8 and 6. All 3 need out. Then we pull all 3. Stay with that kid. Don't let him out of your sight. I'll be there in 12 minutes. He pauses. And Marlowe, you did the right thing calling me. The line goes dead. Mrs. Sullivan turns back to Lucas, who's been watching her with wide, exhausted eyes that have seen too much. Lucas, she says, sitting back down. My friend Nathan is coming. He's going to help. So are a lot of his friends. Friends? The boy's voice is small, uncertain. Bikers, men who ride motorcycles. And I know that might sound scary. Lucas flinches. In foster care, bikers mean gangs. Gangs mean violence. Violence means run. Mrs. Sullivan sees it, puts her hand over his, gentle, careful, asking permission. Lucas, listen to me. These men protect children, especially children the system has failed. Do you understand? Will they believe me? The question breaks her heart into pieces. Everyone else believes Kate and Robert. The social worker, the principal, the whole church congregation that calls them angels. Why would bikers be different? Mrs. Sullivan kneels in front of Lucas's chair, looks directly into those 2 old eyes. Lucas, here's what I'm about to tell you, and it's important. So I need you to really listen. The boy nods. Kate and Robert's act, the nice church-going couple routine, only works when they're dealing with one person at a time, one caseworker they can charm, one principal they can fool. But when you have 100 men who know what manipulation looks like, who won't be impressed by their Sunday best or their grocery receipts, who care more about truth than appearances, she pauses, lets it sink in. That act falls apart. Mrs. Sullivan pulls out her phone again, sends a quick text to the school nurse, then makes another call. Linda, it's Marlo Sullivan. I need you in room 214 now. Medical documentation. She hangs up, turns back to Lucas. Linda Hayes is our school nurse. She's going to take pictures of your bruises. Document everything. It's not going to hurt. But we need evidence, okay? Lucas nods slowly. And Lucas, was it? Sullivan's voice drops. From this moment forward, you're not going back to that house. Not tonight. Not ever. Do you understand me? Whatever happens next, you're safe. The boy stares at her, processing, testing the words for lies, for tricks, for the inevitable betrayal. But Mrs. Sullivan doesn't look away, doesn't soften her promise, doesn't add qualifiers or maybes. Just, you're safe. And for the first time in 214 days, Lucas Bennett allows himself to believe it. 12 minutes later, the sound begins, low at first, distant, like thunder rolling in from the horizon. Lucas's head lifts from where he's been sitting, Nurse Hayes taking careful photographs of bruises he no longer bothers to hide. What's that? He whispers. Mrs. Sullivan walks to the window, looks out over the parking lot. A smile, small, fierce, proud, crosses her face. That, Lucas, is hope on two wheels. The rumble grows, deeper, closer. Not one engine, many engines, synchronized, deliberated, the sound of control power approaching with purpose. Lucas slides from his chair, moves to the window on legs that shake from more than malnutrition. His jaw drops. One motorcycle enters the parking lot, then two, then 5, then 20, then the flood. Harley-Davidsons pour into Riverside Elementary like a steel river, chrome gleaming in the late afternoon sun. Riders in leather vests bearing patches, skulls and wings and chapter names. They pull into formation with military precision, each bike finding its place in an expanding circle. 40 bikes, 60, 80. Lucas counts. Can't help it. The same way Mrs. Sullivan counted 47 days. Numbers are concrete. Numbers are safe. 93, 97, 101, 103, 103 motorcycles, 103 riders. Every single one dismounting in synchronized silence, removing helmets, standing at attention. They're here, Lucas breathes. They're all here for me? Mrs. Sullivan puts her hand on his shoulder. Every single one of them. The boy stares, can't process it, can't understand it. 10 years old, barely 60 pounds. The invisible boy who learned to take up no space, need nothing, expect less. And 103 men just dropped everything to stand witness. The classroom door opens. Nathan Walsh enters, 6'2", broad shoulders carved from decades of manual labor and gym work. Dark hair shot through with gray. Leather vest over a black thermal, jeans worn white at the knees, boots that have walked miles Mrs. Sullivan doesn't ask about. But his eyes, brown, warm, intelligent, land on Lucas with immediate understanding. Hey, buddy, he says, voice gentle despite his size. He stays near the door, doesn't approach, doesn't crowd. I'm Nathan, Mrs. Sullivan's friend. You must be Lucas. The boy nods, can't find words. Behind Nathan, another man appears, older, bigger, gray beard streaked through with white. 60 years old, but moves like someone who forgot to slow down. Weathered face marked by decades of sun and decisions. Leather vest bearing a president patch. Eyes blue as Arctic ice and just as capable of cutting. But when those eyes land on Lucas, something in them softens. Marcus Priest Dalton has seen war, buried friends, lost what mattered most. And he recognizes the particular damage that comes from being small and helpless in the wrong hands. He steps into the room slowly, telegraphing movement, lets Lucas see him coming, then kneels, brings himself down to the boy's eye level. Big man, scary looking, covered in leather and patches in the visual language that says danger, but kneeling, making himself small, making himself less. Son, Priest says, and his voice carries that peculiar gentleness that only the truly strong can manage. My name is Marcus, but everyone calls me Priest. You can call me whatever you're comfortable with. Lucas stares. This close, he can see the lines around Priest's eyes. the gray in his beard, the old scar cutting through his left eyebrow. I know I look like something out of a scary movie, Priest continues, and the corner of his mouth lifts slightly. My wife used to say God made me this big, so kids would know they're safe when I show up. You think that's true? Lucas nods, slowly, not sure yet, but wanting to believe. Priest's expression grows serious. Lucas, I'm going to ask you some hard questions. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I need you to know, nothing you tell me will get you in trouble. Nothing you say will make me think less of you. And everything you share stays between us unless you say otherwise. Understand? Another nod. How old are you? 10. The word barely audible. 10. Priest leans back slightly. You know what I was doing when I was 10? Lucas shakes his head. I was memorizing Bible verses at military chapel while my dad served overseas. Wanted to be a chaplain like him when I grew up. He pauses. And I did that. Served 8 years as Army chaplain before I became, well, this. He gestures at his vest, the patches, the life he chose after. Point is, even at 10, I knew what right and wrong looked like. So I'm betting you do too, and I'm betting you've been trying to do the right thing. Protect your foster sisters. Keep your head down. Survive for 7 months now. That about accurate? Tears stream down Lucas's face. He nods. Can't speak, but nods. Priest's voice stays gentle, firm. You did everything right, son. You stayed alive. You kept those girls as safe as you could. And when your teacher noticed, when she cared enough to count 47 days, you trusted her enough to tell the truth. That took more courage than most grown men have. He reaches out slowly, gives Lucas time to pull back. The boy doesn't. Priest's weathered hand rests on Lucas's shoulder. Solid, real, a promise made physical. Now it's our turn. You've been strong long enough. We're taking it from here. And Lucas, 10 years old, barely 60 pounds, invisible for 7 months, finally breaks. Sobs tear out of him. 7 months of held back tears. 7 months of being brave. 7 months of protecting Scarlett and Ainsley and surviving and making himself small and never, never, never showing weakness. It all comes out. Priest doesn't move, doesn't shush him, doesn't tell him it's okay or everything will be fine or any of the empty words adults use when they don't know what else to say. He just stays, solid, present, a mountain the boys can lean against. Behind them, Mrs. Sullivan wipes her eyes. Nurse Hayes clicks one more photograph, not of bruises this time, of this. The moment a child finally feels safe enough to cry. Outside, 102 men stand in the parking lot, silent, waiting, ready. While Lucas cries 7 months of pain into Priest's shoulder, Mrs. Sullivan opens her black composition notebook, the one she's kept hidden, the one that documents what everyone else refused to see. She flips back, pages and pages of observations. Day 1, January 14th. New student, Lucas Bennett, age 10. Arrived wearing gray hoodie, jeans, worn sneakers, quiet, watchful, sat in back corner. Day 3, January 16th. Lucas fell asleep during silent reading. When woken, apologized profusely, seemed frightened. Day 7, January 20th. Same hoodie, same jeans, same watchful silence. Day 12, January 25th. Asked Lucas about his weekend. Response: It was fine, ma'am. No details, no stories, no light in his eyes. Day 15, January 28th. Lucas declined participation in group activity. When encouraged, began trembling. Allowed him to work alone. Day 20, February 2nd. Brought extra granola bars. Offered one to Lucas. He ate it like he hadn't seen food in days. Asked if I had another. Gave him 3. He put 2 in his backpack. For later, he said. The pages continue. 47 entries, 47 pieces of evidence, 47 days of a teacher paying attention when everyone else looked away. Mrs. Sullivan closes the notebook, hands it to Nathan. Everything's documented, dates, teams, observations, physical symptoms, behavioral changes, all of it. Nathan flips through. His jaw tightens with each page. You've been tracking this since January. Since day 1, something felt wrong. I couldn't prove it, but I could count. 47 days. Nathan looks at his friend, really looks at her. You counted 47 days before you had enough evidence to move. I'm a mandatory reporter. If I call CPS without evidence, they investigate, find nothing, close the case. The Mitchells get more careful. Lucas gets punished for talking, and I lose my chance to help him. She pauses. So I waited. I documented. I counted until I had proof. Priest looks up from where he's still with Lucas. Ma'am, what you did, patience, documentation, evidence, that's how you build a case that sticks. That's how you make sure they never touch another child. Mrs. Sullivan nods, tired, relieved, terrified of what comes next, but certain she did right. Another man appears in the doorway, 44 years old, wire-rimmed glasses, accountant build. Looks like he should be filing taxes, not wearing a Hells Angels vest, because until 6 years ago, that's exactly what he was. Vincent Sterling, Priest introduces, road name Wire, 22 years with the IRS, hunting financial fraud. If there's money moving wrong, he'll find it. Wire adjusts his glasses, already pulling out a laptop. Names and address? Kate and Robert Mitchell, 1847 Oakwood Drive. Foster care payments for 3 children. Monthly amount? Almost 10,000, but spending maybe 400 on the kids. Wire's fingers fly across keys. Give me 2 hours. I'll have their complete financial picture going back 5 years. Another man steps forward, 62 years old, moving with the careful precision of someone who's seen combat and learned to never waste motion. James Rodriguez. He wears a medical patch on his vest. Combat medic, Gulf War. Been carrying a med kit for 35 years. He looks at Lucas with professional assessment, takes in the too thin frame, the bruised arms, the exhaustion. Son, when's the last time you saw a doctor? Lucas thinks. September, school health check. 8 months ago, and you're thin, bruised, exhausted. Your foster parents take you to doctors? No, sir. Kate says doctors are expensive, and kids don't need them unless they're dying. Bones' jaw tightens. Medical neglect on top of physical abuse. When we get these kids out, I'm doing full assessments. Document everything. A younger man fills the doorway. Late 40s, tall, lean, scholarly looking, despite the leather. Tobias Hayes, former high school teacher. Taught with Nathan before budget cuts. Still volunteer together. He holds up 3 backpacks. Got emergency kits for the kids. Change of clothes, snacks, water, comfort items. Mrs. Sullivan's eyes fill. You came prepared. Code Fallen Youth means we're ready for child rescue operations, ma'am. Tobias kneels by Lucas, keeps his voice soft. Hey, buddy, you hungry? Lucas nods, eyes fixed on the backpack. Tobias unzips it, pulls out apple slices in a baggie, cheese crackers, juice box. Start with this, small amounts if you haven't been eating regular. Lucas takes the food with shaking hands, opens the crackers like they're treasure, eats slowly, carefully, like someone might take them away. Every adult in that room watches a 10-year-old boy eat cheese crackers like it's the first meal he's had in days, because it probably is. Priest's phone buzzes. He checks it, shows the screen to Mrs. Sullivan. Group text, growing by the second. Cleveland Chapter 27 brothers en route. ETA 45 minutes. Cincinnati, 23 brothers mobilize. Dayton, 19 coming in. Word spreading, Priest says quietly. Code Fallen Youth means every brother within reach drops everything. By tonight, we'll have over 150 from 4 cities. He turns back to Lucas, who's finished the crackers and is looking at the apple slices with desperate hunger. Lucas, Priest says gently, eat as much as you want. There's more. There's always more. The boy picks up an apple slice, then another, then the juice box. Between bites, he whispers, Why are you all here? For me? Priest pulls a chair over, sits down carefully, gives Lucas space but stays close enough to be real. 27 years ago, I had a daughter, Katie, 8 years old, smart, funny, brave. Lucas stops chewing, listening. Katie went into foster care after my wife died. I was deployed, couldn't take care of her. The system placed her with a family that looked perfect on paper. Priest's voice stays steady, but something in his eyes goes distant. By the time anyone realized they were hurting her, it was too late. Katie died in that house. The investigation found insufficient evidence for charges. He pauses, lets Lucas absorb it. I spent 10 years asking myself how I failed her. Then 6 years ago, I started Code Fallen Youth. When a child's in danger, when the system's failing, we respond. Every brother drops everything because Katie never got rescued. But you will. Scarlett will. Ainsley will. Priest's voice firms. So that's why we're here, son. 103 men who refuse to let another child suffer what Katie did. Lucas stares at this big, scary-looking man who just shared his deepest pain with a stranger. A 10-year-old stranger who suddenly doesn't feel so invisible anymore. I'm sorry about Katie. Me too. But if her story saves you and those girls, then maybe she didn't die for nothing. Outside, the sun angles lower. Golden light slants across the parking lot where 103 motorcycles stand sentinel. Inside room 214, a 10-year-old boy finishes his apple slices and for the first time in 47 days, allows himself to hope. 4:30 in the afternoon, principal's office. Michael Thaddeus Brennan, 52 years old, 20 years in education administration, thinning hair and wire-rimmed glasses, stands behind his desk looking at 5 men in leather vests and wondering how his Thursday turned into this. Priest stands center. Nathan to his right. Wire already has his laptop open. Bones leans against the wall. Tobias by the door. None of them sitting. All of them watching Brennan with the particular stillness of men who've learned patience in hard places. Mr. Brennan, Priest begins, voice measured, respectful. We're not here to cause problems. We're here to support Mrs. Sullivan in following the law. She's a mandatory reporter who discovered evidence of child abuse. We're ensuring the victim remains safe during investigation. Brennan's hands flutter. Papers, coffee mug, anything to avoid direct eye contact. But there are over 100 motorcycles in my parking lot. Public property, Wire interjects mildly, adjusts his glasses. We checked local ordinances, no loitering laws violated, no traffic violations. Legal assembly. The optics, Nathan cuts in, are that your school finally protected a kid who's been suffering for 7 months. A teacher cared enough to count 47 days. When the system moved too slow, a community showed up fast. Priest raises a hand. Nathan stops. Chain of command clear without words. Principal Brennan, you've got a choice. You can be the administrator who worried about parking lot appearances while a child went back to his abusers. Or you can be the principal who backed his teacher when she did the right thing. Pause. Let it land. Channel 4 has a news van en route. My media coordinator is outside. You want the headline to be "School Protects Abused Student" or "Principal Prioritizes Optics Over Safety"? Brennan pales. Wire turns his laptop, shows a Columbus Dispatch website already running breaking news. Teacher documents. 47 days of abuse, community rallies to protect children. We called them 15 minutes ago, Tobias says. They're running with it. Priest leans forward, not threatening, just focused. Here's what's happening. Mrs. Sullivan filed her mandatory report. CPS is sending an investigator. Those 3 children will not return to the Mitchell residence tonight. We need your cooperation. Silence. Brennan makes his calculation. What do you need? Statements supporting Mrs. Sullivan's actions. Medical documentation from your nurse. Student records for Lucas Bennett, Scarlett Taylor, and Ainsley Taylor. I can't just give you student records. Wire pulls up Ohio Revised Code. Section 3109.12 permits disclosure to parties involved in child welfare investigations. Legal. Brennan's resistance crumbles. I'll have my secretary pull the files. Appreciate it. Priest extends his hand. Professional. Brennan shakes it. Realizes these aren't thugs. These are men who understand systems. How to work within law while bending it toward justice. The bikers file out. Outside, Brennan's secretary, Margaret, 63, looks up. Those men got you to cooperate in 3 minutes. How? Brennan slumps. Because they were right, and they knew exactly how to prove it. Wire sets up in the teacher's lounge. Laptop, portable printer, three-ring binder labeled Mitchell Financial Analysis. His fingers fly across keys. Public records first. Property ownership. Marriage license 2008. Then deeper. Credit reports. Bank statements. Foster care payment database. His eyes narrow. Got them. Lucas Bennett. Placed October 2024. Monthly payment, $3,100. Scarlett and Ainsley Taylor. Placed November 2024. Sibling group, 6,800 read monthly. Total, 9,900 per month. 7 months Lucas. 6 months the girls. 69,300 since October. Just these three. He digs deeper. 5-year history. 11 different foster children. Average placement, 6 to 8 months. Not one adoption. Every child was revenue. Wire cross-references expenses. Food purchases, $400 monthly for family of 5. Children's clothing, 0 in 7 months. School supplies, $40. He calculates. $534,000 profit. Over 5 years. Bones appears in doorway. Find something? Wire turns the screen. Worse, look. Insurance records, life insurance policies. Tyler Johnson, age 7, died 2021 in Mitchell Care. Accidental drowning. Payout, $75,000. Mia Chen, age 9, died 2022 in Mitchell Care. Fall from stairs. Payout, $75,000. Both deaths investigated. Both ruled accidental. Cases closed. Beneficiary, Kate and Robert Mitchell. Bones stares. Combat medic who knows death's faces. 2 kids died and they collected insurance? $150,000 total, plus $534 in foster profits. $684,000 over 5 years. Wire's voice goes cold. This isn't neglect. This is a business. Kids are inventory. Bones pulls out his phone, dials Priest. We've got a problem. 2 former foster kids died with the Mitchells. Both had life insurance. Both deaths ruled accidental. Listens. Yeah, thinking the same thing. Those cases need reopening. Hangs up, looks at Wire. Keep digging. If those deaths weren't accidental, then we're looking at murder. 1847, Oakwood Drive, suburban Columbus, tree-lined street, well-maintained lawns, 15 Harley-Davidsons line the curb. Public property. Legal. Unmistakable. 15 men stand on sidewalk, arms crossed, silent. Kate Mitchell, mid-40s, cardigan and khakis, pearl necklace, stands on her porch, phone pressed to ear, face pale. Robert, polo shirt, jeans, stands behind her. They look like concerned parents. Until you see their eyes. Calculation. Fear cracking the performance. Kate's call to their lawyer goes poorly. Gerald, there are bikers outside, 15 of them. Are they on your property? No, the sidewalk. Then it's legal. Kate, what's happening? She hangs up. One biker, Nathan, 6'2", dark beard, calls out, Mrs. Mitchell, Mr. Mitchell, where are Lucas Bennett, Scarlett Taylor, and Ainsley Taylor? Kate freezes. That's none of your concern. 3 children in your foster care. Where are they? Robert steps forward, aggressive. Get off our property. We're not on your property. Public sidewalk. I'm calling the police. Please do. 2 patrol cars arrive in 12 minutes. Officers Donnelly and Hart, both mid-30s. Robert rushes out. Officers, these men are harassing us. Donnelly, older, experienced, walks to the bikers. Gentlemen, mind telling me what this is about? Nathan pulls out his phone, shows a photo, Lucas's bruised arms. That 10-year-old lives in that house. Those bruises are 48 hours old. His teacher documented 47 days before calling CPS. We're ensuring foster parents don't destroy evidence or flee. Donnelly's expression shifts, looks at Mitchell House. Back to bikers. You got documentation? Teacher's logs, medical photographs, CPS investigator en route. Hart, younger, steps forward. You can't surveil private citizens. We're standing on public sidewalk. If that's surveillance, every neighborhood watch is illegal. Donnelly radios dispatch. Need you to run 1847 Oakwood Drive for active CPS investigations. Response crackles. Active investigation opened 4 hours ago. Emergency removal pending. Donnelly turns to Mitchells. There's an active CPS investigation. These gentlemen are within rights. I can't remove them. Kate's mask slips. This is harassment. So is child abuse, Nathan says quietly. Officers leave. Kate and Robert retreat inside. Close blinds, locked doors, but they feel it. 15 pairs of eyes. 15 witnesses who won't leave. The net tightening. Michelle O'Brien arrives at Riverside Elementary at 6:47 p.m. 38, 12 years with Cuyahoga County Children's Services. Red hair pulled back, exhausted eyes. She walks in expecting hysteria, finds 103 motorcycles, a teacher with documentation, medical evidence, 5 men in vests who greet her professionally. Miss O'Brien, priest extends his hand. Marcus Dalton, we're community witnesses supporting Mrs. Sullivan's mandatory report. Michelle shakes his hand, thrown off script. This is unusual. So is a child being failed 3 times in 7 months, Nathan says. Michelle's spine straightens. Excuse me? Wire hands her a printed timeline. April 24th, neighbor complaint. Caseworker visited April 26th. Case closed May 1st. Finding adequate conditions. Michelle scans it. Face tightens. Sarah's report shows children interviewed with foster parents present. Standard protocol that lets abusers intimidate victims. Priest finishes. Michelle looks at Lucas, corner of room, eating sandwich with Tobias. Barely 60 pounds, bruised. Fear in every line. She's seen enough to recognize one. I need to interview him privately. Of course. Everyone exits except Lucas and Michelle. She pulls chair beside his. Voice gentle. Lucas, I'm Michelle from Children's Services. Can you tell me about living with Kate and Robert? Boy's hands tighten on sandwich. You're not in trouble. Nothing you say will get you punished. Long silence. Then barely audible. They lock us in the basement every night, 8 to 6 in morning. It's cold, dark. We sleep on mattresses on floor. Michelle's pen stills. All 3 of you? Yes, ma'am. Me, Scarlett, Ainsley. The door is locked. From outside, we can't get out, even if we need bathroom, even if Ainsley has nightmares. Words come faster. Dam breaking. They feed us 1 meal a day, sometimes less. Lunch at school is only time I'm full. Dinner is half bowl rice for 3 of us. Lucas, Kate hits Scarlett when she cries. Robert grabbed my arm so hard it bruised. They make us work. Mow lawn, clean house, hours every weekend. He's shaking, but keeps talking. They tell us if we tell anyone, no one will believe us. Adults believe adults. Kids lie. And if we tell, they'll separate us. So we don't. We just survive. Michelle writes, every word. Handshakes. Are you scared of them? Yes, ma'am. She closes notebook. Looks at this 10-year-old delivering testimony most adults couldn't. You're very brave. What you told me, that's enough. You're not going back. Michelle O'Brien, Cuyahoga County CPS, court order to inspect and interview Scarlett and Ainsley Taylor. Girls are at youth group, church, back at mine. Call them, bring them home, now. Kate's smile tightens. I don't appreciate. Officer Donnelly steps forward. Ma'am, welfare check with court order. Cooperate or we escalate. Robert appears, sees police, CPS, bikers still on sidewalk. Calculation, fight means attention. I'll call Pastor Davidson, have him bring girls home. While waiting, Michelle walks through house. Living room, clean, organized, family photos. Christian decor, normal. Kitchen, dishes in sink, refrigerator stocked. Minimal kid food. Upstairs, 2 bedrooms supposedly for children. Michelle enters first. Twin beds, stuffed animals arranged perfectly. Posters, desk. She runs finger along nightstand. Dust, thick, weeks old, aged. Closet, children's clothes with tags. Never worn, staged. Where do children actually sleep? Kate's expression flickers. I showed. This room hasn't been used in months. Dust on surfaces, clothes with tags. Where do they sleep? Silence. Michelle's voice hardens. 5 seconds, or I get warrant. 1, 2, 3. Basement, Robert says quietly. Michelle follows them down, Donnelly behind her, until he sees concrete floor, cinder block walls, no windows, 3 thin mattresses, worn blankets, utility toilet in corner, no privacy, 1 bare bulb, aperture 55 degrees. Michelle photographs, every angle, mattresses, toilet, door, deadbolt on outside. You lock them in. For safety, Kate tries, voice weak. They're active at night. This is unlawful imprisonment, child endangerment, abuse. Michelle climbs stairs, radios, dispatch, need child welfare backup in crime scene unit, immediate. Turns to Mitchell's. Where are the girls? 20 minutes later, Pastor Davidson's car arrives. Scarlett and Ainsley climb out. 8 and 6. Too thin, too quiet. They see police, CPS, bikers. Scarlett grabs Ainsley's hand. We're in trouble. Michelle kneels, eye level. Sweetheart, you're not in trouble. Lucas is safe. He told us what's happening. Now I need you brave like he was. Scarlett looks at Mitchell House. Kate in doorway, with that smile, looks back, nods. We're hungry, Ainsley whispers. All the time. Michelle's heart breaks. I know, baby. You won't be hungry anymore. Donnelly steps forward, reads Miranda. Kate Mitchell and Robert Mitchell, you're under arrest for child endangerment and unlawful imprisonment. Kate's composure shatters. We gave them a home, fed them. Priest steps forward, voice cuts through. You gave them prison, ma'am, and charged the state $9,900 monthly. Handcuffs click. Kate sobs. Robert's silent, already calculating defense. Separate patrol cars, can't coordinate stories. On sidewalk, 15 bikers watch. Mission accomplished. Lucas, Scarlett, Ainsley are free. Emergency placement. Griffin and Vivian Callahan, 51 and 49. Retired teachers, licensed 18 years, 6 successful adoptions. They understood trauma. 3 children would need time, patience, safety. Home prepared. 3 beds, clean sheets, warm blankets, night lights, food, doors locking from inside only. 8:30 p.m. Michelle's van with 3 children waiting for trap to spring. Vivian kneels on porch. Same level. Welcome home, sweethearts. I'm Vivian. That's Griffin. We've been waiting. Lucas stares. Scarlett holds Ainsley. Ainsley hides. Are you hungry? Ainsley nods. Tiniest movement. Good. Spaghetti, garlic bread, salad, ice cream after. Come in. House smells like food, real food. Griffin sets table. Huge portions, more than they've seen in months. Eat as much as you want. There's plenty. Want more, just ask. Lucas stares at plate. Hands shake picking up fork. 1 bite, 2, then eats like never seeing food again. Scarlett and Ainsley same. Vivian and Griffin watch. Don't comment, let them eat. 20 minutes. Lucas stops, looks at Griffin. Can I have more? Griffin's eyes fill, voice steady. Always, son. Lucas gets seconds, thirds, stops when stomach can't hold more. Thank you, he whispers. Never thank us for food, Lucas. There's always food here. Later, Vivian shows rooms. Lucas gets own. Scarlett and Ainsley share by request. Too scared to separate. Doors don't lock from outside. You can leave any time. Bathroom there. Kitchen downstairs if hungry at night. You're not prisoners. You're safe. Ainsley whispers to Scarlett. Scarlett translates. She wants to know if it's real. Vivian kneels, takes Ainsley's hand. It's real, baby. This is home now. Long as you need. Girls climb into one bed. Lucas stands in doorway. Will you check on us? During night? Every hour, Vivian promises. Doors open, hall lights on. You need anything? Call. We'll hear. Lucas nods, goes to bed, lies on real mattress first time in 7 months. Doesn't sleep, can't, too used to concrete, cold, fear, but he's safe. Enough for tonight. 3 weeks later, Lucas sits in Callahan kitchen eating breakfast. Real breakfast. Scrambled eggs, toast, orange juice. Gained 4 pounds, still thin. Progress. Scarlett and Ainsley at table, coloring, laughing, small sounds. Careful, but sounds. TV in living room. Griffin reading paper. Headline changes. Breaking news in Mitchell foster care case. Defense attorneys claim evidence suggests children's testimony may have been coached. Griffin moves fast, reaches for remote. Too late. Lucas heard. Fork stops halfway to mouth. Eyes locked on screen where lawyer speaks to reporters. Our clients maintain innocence. We have documentation suggesting Lucas Bennett has history of behavioral issues at previous placements. We believe children were manipulated by adults with agenda. Griffin kills TV. Turns. Boy sits frozen, fork trembling. Lucas. They're saying I lied. Voice barely there. Saying I made it up. No, son, they're lying. Adults believe adults. Lucas sets fork down. Hands shake. Kate said that. She was right. They'll believe them, not me. I'm just a kid. Vivian appears, sees Lucas's face, understands, sits beside him, doesn't touch, close. Lucas, those lawyers are doing their job, creating doubt. That's what defense does. But we have proof. Medical photographs, your teacher's documentation. Lucas isn't hearing. He's somewhere else. 7 months learning truth doesn't matter when adults decide it doesn't. He stands, walks to room, closes door. Quiet. The way he learned to be invisible. Scarlett looks at Vivian, scared. Is Lucas okay? He will be, sweetheart. Needs time. Vivian reaches for phone, calls Priest. Priest arrives 30 minutes later. Finds Lucas on bed, staring at wall, hasn't moved. Hey, son. Sits in doorway, doesn't enter without permission. Mind if I come in? Long pause. Okay. Priest settles in chair by desk. Big man, small room, not crowding. Saw the news. Lucas nods. Defense lawyers saying I coached you. Mrs. Sullivan manipulated you. That you made everything up. Yes, sir. You're scared people will believe them. Another nod. Priest leans forward, voice low, steady. Lucas, let me tell you about lawyers. Their job isn't truth, it's reasonable doubt. They're saying you lied not because they believe it. Because if one juror believes it, clients go free. What if it works? What if people believe? What if judge believes? What if you have to be brave again? Lucas finally looks, eyes red. I'm tired of being brave. I know, son. You've been brave 7 months, protecting sisters, surviving impossible things. Now they're asking again. Stand up, tell story, face people calling you liar. Pause, let it sink. It's not fair. You shouldn't have to. You're 10, should be playing soccer, reading comics, worrying about homework. Not this. Then why? Because Scarlett and Ainsley are watching. Because Tyler and Mia can't speak. Because if you don't stand, Kate and Robert hurt more kids. Voice gentle but firm, iron wrapped in compassion. And you're stronger than you think. Survived 7 months hell. Trusted Mrs. Sullivan to show bruises. Told story to stranger. Already did hardest parts. What if I can't? Then we carry you. That's what 103 men are for. You're not alone. Silence. Lucas whispers. I'm scared. That's okay. Courage isn't not being scared. It's doing right when terrified. Priest reaches in vest, pulls out small leather bracelet, 4 charms, number 47, angel wings, letter K, letter L. Katie's initial, your initial. 47 days counted. Wings for 103 brothers. Holds it out. Don't have to wear it, but want you to have it. Remember, when hard, when scared, when they call you liar. Remember you're not alone. Lucas takes bracelet, turns it over, slips on wrist. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Thank me when over and you're free. Priest stands, heads for door, stops. Lucas, Katie never got to fight, never told her story, System failed her before she had chance. Turns back. You have that chance. Evidence, witnesses, 103 men walking into courtroom with you. You have power Katie never had. What do I do with it? Use it. Stand up. Tell truth. Let us handle rest. That night, Lucas sits at kitchen table with notebook. Vivian and Griffin nearby. Not hovering, just there. He writes, stops, starts again. 2 hours, 3 drafts. Dear Judge Morrison, my name is Lucas Bennett. I'm 10 years old. People say I lied about Kate and Robert Mitchell. That Mrs. Sullivan coached me. That I made it up. But I didn't. I know adults don't always believe kids. Kate told me that. She said if I told anyone, no one would believe me because adults believe adults. Maybe she was right, but I have to try. For 7 months I slept in basement. For 7 months I was hungry. For 7 months I was scared. I wore same hoodie 47 days because it was all I had. Mrs. Sullivan counted. She saw me when I thought I was invisible. I'm not lying. Scarlett and Ainsley are scared too. Tyler and Mia can't tell stories anymore. Please don't let Kate and Robert hurt anyone else. Please believe me. Lucas Bennett, he folds letter. Hands to Vivian. Can you give this to prosecutor? Vivian reads. Tears stream. Oh, sweetheart. Yes. Pulls out phone, photos letter, sends to Amanda Blackwood. Response. 2 minutes. This is most powerful evidence we have. Can I submit to court? Vivian shows Lucas. They want to use your letter, okay? Lucas nods. If it helps? 3 hours, letter goes viral. Someone at prosecutor's office leaks it. Intentionally. By morning, hashtag believe Lucas trends. Millions of shares. Support flooding. Tide turns. August 15th, 2025. 3 months after arrests. Cuyahoga County Courthouse. Courtroom 3B. Gallery fills early. Media. Foster care advocates. Social workers. Teachers. 103 men in Hell's Angels vests. They file quietly, respectfully, fill every seat, standing room and back, silent, present. Witnesses. Judge Patricia Morrison, 58, 30 years bench, enters, sees leather vests, pauses. Mr. Dalton, your organization understands courtroom protocol. Priest stands. Yes, Your Honor, we're observing. We'll maintain absolute silence and decorum. See that you do. Kate and Robert Mitchell enter. Orange jumpsuits, shackles, 3 months county lockup shows. Kate's hair gray at roots. Robert gaunt, both avoiding gallery eye contact. Lawyer Gerald Hayes, mid-50s, expensive suit, practice confidence, sits between them. Amanda Blackwood at prosecution table, wire beside her with laptop. Priest, Nathan, Mrs. Sullivan first row behind. Lucas in witness waiting room with Vivian, not in courtroom yet, protected until testimony. All rise. Trial begins. Amanda stands, walks to jury. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is about money, power, and systematic exploitation of vulnerable children. Pauses. Kate and Robert Mitchell fostered 11 children over 5 years, received over $684,000 in state payments and insurance payouts, spent approximately $31,000 on children. Turns to defendants. $653,000 profit from children, from babies, from kids state entrusted to their care. Picks up photo, Lucas's bruised arms, holds up. This is Lucas Bennett, 10 years old, barely 60 pounds when removed, should weigh 70, covered in bruises at various healing stages. Proof of repeated systematic violence. Another photo, basement. This is where they slept. Concrete floor, no heat, locked door, 3 children aged 10, 8, 6, locked every night, 7 months. Voice hardens. This isn't neglect, isn't overwhelmed parents making mistakes. This is calculated, intentional, criminal exploitation. Walks back, sits. Evidence will show Kate and Robert Mitchell ran business. Children were inventory. When inventory became problematic, when Tyler Johnson and Mia Chen showed abuse signs, they eliminated them. Collected insurance. Jury stirs. Uncomfortable. Angry. Gerald Hayes stands. Ladies and gentlemen, my clients are not monsters. Walk same path. softer, reasonable. They're imperfect people who took in 11 difficult children when no one else would. Children with behavioral issues, trauma, special needs. Gestures to Kate and Robert. Were they perfect parents? No. Outdated discipline methods? Perhaps. Mistakes? Absolutely. Picks up Lucas's letter. But coaching child to testify? Manufacturing evidence? That's what this case is about. Prosecution wants you believing these children gave spontaneous, truthful testimony. But look at timeline. Points to chart. Lucas Bennett spoke to teacher. Teacher, within hours, mobilized over 100 bikers. Those bikers included former law enforcement, IRS investigators, journalists, people with resources, agendas. Objection, Amanda says calmly, implying witness tampering without evidence. Sustained. Mr. Hayes, stick to facts. Hayes nods. Facts. Troubled children with lying histories, adults with predetermined conclusions. Rush to judgment, ignoring reasonable explanations. Sits. My clients didn't abuse anyone. They tried helping, being punished for it. Dr. Rebecca Hartwell takes stand. 53, pediatrician, 26 years, 40 child abuse cases testified. Amanda guides examination. Dr. Hartwell, what did you observe examining Lucas Bennett May 15th? Severe malnutrition, height and weight significantly below 5th percentile, multiple contusions at various healing stages, fingertip pattern bruising on both forearms, evidence chronic sleep deprivation. In professional opinion, were injuries consistent with normal childhood accidents? Absolutely not. Pattern indicates repeated intentional trauma. Bruising shows adult-sized handprints. Malnutrition indicates prolonged inadequate feeding. This child was systematically harmed. Amanda shows photos. Jury flinches. Scarlett and Ainsley Taylor? Similar patterns. Malnutrition, developmental delays consistent with chronic stress and inadequate nutrition. Both showed extreme fear responses to adult males. Classic abuse indicators. Hayes cross-examines. Dr. Hartwell, children bruise easily, don't they? Some more than others. Kids lie about how they got hurt? Sometimes, but medical evidence doesn't lie. These injuries show clear pattern. You examined Lucas after hours with 100 bikers, after removal from home, after teacher documented suspicions weeks. Isn't it possible testimony was influenced? Bruises existed before any testimony. Medical evidence predates potential influence. Hayes backs off. Bones testifies next. Combat medic credentials, trauma assessment years. In war zones, saw malnutrition daily. Lucas Bennett showed same signs. Brittle nails, hair loss, muscle wasting. This wasn't picky eater. This was starvation. Jury takes notes. Grim faces. Wire testifies finances. Money trail. $9,900 monthly for 3 children. $400 spent on food. 0 clothing. Minimal medical. Rest. Offshore accounts. Investments. Personal luxury purchases. Shows credit card statements. Kate shopping. Robert golf membership. Myrtle Beach vacation. While 3 children slept on concrete, Mitchell's vacationed. Evidence stacks hour by hour. By day 3, defense scrambling. Courtroom silent when Lucas walks in. Gained weight, 8 pounds, 3 months. Still small but healthier. Hair cut, clean clothes fitting. Wears leather bracelet priest gave. 47. KL wings. Judge speaks gently. Lucas, understand you're here to tell truth? Yes, Your Honor. Promise to tell only what really happened? Yes, Your Honor. Good. Have seat. Lucas climbs a witness chair. Feet don't touch floor. Small boy. Big chair. Huge room. Amanda approaches slowly. Hi, Lucas. How are you? Nervous. Honest. Jury smiles slightly. He's real. That's okay. Being nervous is normal. Just needs you telling truth, okay? Like you told Mrs. Sullivan. Okay. Lucas, where did you sleep living with Kate and Robert Mitchell? In basement. Can you describe basement? Lucas takes breath, looks at bracelet, touches angel wings. Cold, Dark, concrete floor, 3 mattresses, me, Scarlett, Ainsley, we shared. Toilet in corner, no privacy, and door locked from outside. Door locked. Every night, 8 o'clock. Kate would come down, count us, leave, locked door, couldn't get out till 6 morning. What if you needed something middle of night? We couldn't, just waited. What about food? Breakfast was 1 piece bread, sometimes. Lunch at school, only real meal. Dinner was half-bowl rice for all 3. Were you hungry? Voice cracks. All the time. Did you tell anyone? No. Why not? Because Kate said if we told, no one would believe. Adults believe adults, and if I told, they'd separate us. Send Scarlett and Ainsley somewhere else. I couldn't let that happen. Amanda shows photo of bruised arms. Lucas, how did you get these? Robert grabbed me. When I broke glass, grabbed my arm, twisted till it hurt. Said I cost him 50 cents. He'd make sure I remembered. Did Kate hurt you? She hit Scarlett more, pulled hair, pushed downstairs once. I caught her, carried back up. Lucas wipes eyes, still talking. Ainsley was so scared she stopped talking. Just whispers to Scarlett. Scarlett translates. Because Ainsley learned talking makes adults angry. Jury watches, some crying. Amanda finishes gently. Lucas, are you glad Mrs. Sullivan counted 47 days? Yes. Why? Because she saw me. I thought I was invisible, but she counted, paid attention. She saved me. Amanda sits. Hayes stands for cross. This is where it gets hard. Lucas, you've been in foster care before, haven't you? Yes, sir. How many homes? 3 before Mitchell's. You had problems at those homes? I guess. You guess? Records show behavioral issues. Lying, stealing food, fighting children. I was hungry and scared. So you admit you lie when scared? Amanda objects. Badgering. Sustained, Mr. Hayes, rephrase. Hayes tries again. Softer but cutting. Lucas, did Mrs. Sullivan tell you what to say? No. Did bikers tell you what to say? No, they just believed me. Did anyone tell you if you said Kate and Robert hurt you, you wouldn't have to go back? Lucas's face crumples. Understanding trap. Mrs. Sullivan said I was safe. That's not same. But you knew if you claimed abuse, you'd be removed. Correct? I didn't claim it. It happened. Voice rises, angry now, not scared. I have bruises. Dr. Hartwell saw. Nurse Hayes photographed. I didn't make that up. Hayes backs slightly. I'm not saying. Yes, you are. Lucas stands in witness chair. Small boy. Enormous courage. You're saying I lied. That Mrs. Sullivan made me lie. That priest and everyone made me lie. But they didn't. Pulls up sleeve. Bruises faded but visible. These were real. Basement was real. Being hungry was real. Being scared was real. Judge Morrison doesn't stop him. Lets him speak. Tyler and Mia died in that house. They can't tell stories, but I can, and I'm not lying. Chest heaves. Tears stream. Not backing down. I'm 10 years old. I should be invisible. Kids like me always invisible. But Mrs. Sullivan counted. 47 days, and she made me visible. Looks directly at jury. I'm not lying, and I won't let you make me invisible again. Courtroom dead silent. Hayes has no more questions. Lucas steps down. Vivian meets him. Holds while he cries. In gallery 103 men stand. Silent salute. Witness acknowledged. Truth spoken. Jury deliberates 2 hours 17 minutes. When return, foreman stands. Count 1, child endangerment. Lucas Bennett, guilty. Count 2, child endangerment. Scarlett Taylor, guilty. Count 3, child endangerment. Ainsley Taylor, guilty. Count 4, unlawful imprisonment. Guilty. Count Phantom, fraud. Guilty. Count 6, embezzlement. Guilty. Count 7, felony murder. Tyler Johnson, guilty. Count 8, felony murder. Mia Chen, guilty. Kate collapses, sobbing. Robert stone-faced. Hayes slumps, lost. In gallery, quiet celebration. Tears, embraces. Lucas sits with Vivian, numb. We won? You won, sweetheart. Stood up, told truth. They believed you. They believed me. Repeats it like can't quite accept. Outside courthouse steps, 103 motorcycles idle, waiting for their brother. 2 weeks later, Judge Morrison reads prepared remarks. Kate Mitchell, Robert Mitchell, in 30 years on this bench, never encountered such calculated cruelty masked as charity. Looks at them, no mercy. You exploited system designed protecting vulnerable children, profited from their pain. When 2 children died in your care, you collected insurance, moved on to new victims. Kate tries speaking. Your Honor, you loved money, loved appearance of goodness, but never loved those children. Voice hardens. Kate Mitchell, 18 years state prison. No parole eligibility, 12 years. Robert Mitchell, 22 years state prison. No parole eligibility, 15 years. Full restitution, $684,000, divided among 11 victims. And I'm recommending Ohio legislature pass Lucas's law. Mandatory annual medical examinations, all foster children, independent of foster parent presence. Gavel down. Court adjourned. Kate screams. Robert led away silent. Outside, Lucas stands with priest. It's over? It's over, son. They can't hurt anyone else? Never again. Lucas exhales. 7 months tension releasing. Thank you. You did this, Lucas. Stood up, spoke, changed everything. Boy looks at 103 men surrounding him. We did this. Priest smiles. Yeah, we did. February 2026. Lucas, Scarlett, Ainsley stand in Judge Morrison's chambers. Different room, different purpose, different outcome. Griffin and Vivian Callahan beside them. Lucas Bennett, Scarlett Taylor, Ainsley Taylor. Judge Morrison reads from adoption decree. After thorough evaluation, I'm pleased to grant this adoption petition. She looks at 3 children. From this day forward, you are Lucas Callahan, Scarlett Callahan, Ainsley Callahan. You have family, you have home, you have future. Gavel down, gentler this time. Congratulations. Now Lucas Callahan looks at Griffin and Vivian. We're ushering yours? Vivian kneels, eye level. Sweetheart, you were always ours. Now it's just official. 3 children hug their parents. Real parents, forever parents. In gallery, priest, Nathan, Mrs. Sullivan, Bones, Wire, Tobias. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's chosen. Sometimes it's forged in fire. Sometimes it's 103 men who show up when nobody else will. May 15th, 2026. 1 year since Mrs. Sullivan kept Lucas after class. 1 year since Gray Hoodie exposed fraud scheme. 1 year since 103 motorcycles descended on Riverside Elementary. Columbus Hells Angels Clubhouse holds community event. Not party. Vigil. Remembrance. Promise. Families attend. Former foster children who found healing. Social workers who learned to look deeper. Teachers who learned to count. Lucas, Scarlett, Ainsley, now Callahans, stand with Griffin and Vivian. Priest stands at microphone. 103 brothers behind, community in front. We're here because 1 teacher counted to 47. We're here because 1 child was brave enough to show bruises. We're here because 103 men decided protecting children mattered more than anything else that day. Pauses. Katie, my daughter, died 28 years ago because nobody showed up for her. I couldn't save her. But because what we learned from losing her, we saved Lucas, Scarlett, Ainsley, and we'll keep saving kids as long as kids need saving. Crowd silent. This isn't biker story. This is community story. Mrs. Sullivan who counted, Wire who followed money, Bones who documented injuries, Nathan who mobilized, Lucas who survived and spoke. Looks at Lucas. This young man survived 7 months hell, turned it into hope for other kids. That's the story. That's what we remember. Lucas steps forward. He'd asked to speak. Mrs. Sullivan helped write it, but words are his. I'm 11 now, 6th grade, honor roll, chess club. I have friends, family. enough to eat, bed that's warm, people who care, takes breath. But I almost didn't. If Mrs. Sullivan hadn't counted, if she'd looked away like everyone else, I don't know if I'd be here. Maybe still in basement, maybe dead like kids before me. Voice strengthens. But I'm here because people showed up. Scary-looking people. People with motorcycles and leather jackets and patches supposed to mean danger. But they were safest people I'd ever met because they didn't just say they cared. They proved it. Looks at Priest, Nathan, all 103 men. So if you're hearing this story, here's what I want you to know. You don't need motorcycle to save someone. Don't need 103 friends. Just need to pay attention, count days, notice when something's wrong, and care enough to do something. Holds up phone, shows photo, gray hoodie, now framed, hanging in foster care advocacy center downtown Columbus. 47 days, someone counted, someone cared. That's all it took. Standing ovation, 103 bikers salute. Lucas salutes back. May 2027, National Foster Care Advocacy Center, Washington, D.C. Lucas Callahan, 12 years old now, 72 pounds, healthy, strong, confident, stands before assembled crowd. Foster care workers, advocates, survivors, press. He's here presenting his gray hoodie, the one he wore 47 days. It's been cleaned, preserved, mounted in frame with brass and placard. 47 days, one boy, 103 angels, infinite courage. This hoodie belonged to Lucas Callahan, formerly Bennett. He wore it 47 consecutive days while suffering abuse. He was 10 years old, weighed barely 60 pounds, thought he was invisible. Teacher Marlo Sullivan counted every day. Priest Marcus Dalton answered call. 103 brothers stood witness. Lucas found his voice. Count the days, see the children, stand up. Lucas addresses crowd. 2 years ago, I thought I was invisible. Wore this hoodie because it was all I had. Made myself small because small meant safe. Learned to need nothing because needing got you hurt. Pauses, touches frame. Mrs. Sullivan counted 47 days. Not because she had to, because she cared. When she called for help, 103 men showed up. Not because they knew me, because they knew what failure looked like. Voice strengthens. I'm not special. Just lucky. Lucky someone counted. Lucky someone cared. But there are thousands of kids like I was. Invisible. Hurting. Waiting for someone to see them. Looks at cameras. So I'm asking you, don't wait 47 days. Count to one. See child in front of you. Ask hard questions. And when they tell truth, believe them. Steps back. Behind him, Priest, Nathan, Mrs. Sullivan, Vivian, Griffin, his family. And at room's back, 103 men in leather vests. Still watching, still protecting, still counting. Because some promises never end. Some debts paid forward, not back. Some angels wear leather instead of wings. Lucas Callahan, survivor, advocate, visible, touches glass one more time, then turns to face his future. Free. 5 years after rescue. Lucas is 15, high school sophomore, straight A's, varsity soccer, youth advocacy director for Angels Watch. Scarlett, 13, thriving, wants to be social worker. Ainsley, 11, speaking again, full sentences, dreams, laughter, all three Callahans, all three loved, all three seen. Griffin and Vivian's home filled with noise, homework, arguments about chores, normal teenage chaos. The beautiful ordinary magic of childhood reclaimed. Mrs. Marlo Sullivan received Ohio Teacher of the Year 2026. Still teaches 4th grade. Still counts. Still carries black notebook. 23 more children, saved because she paid attention. Marcus Priest Dalton, now 60, serves as National Foster Care Reform Advisor. Code Fallen Youth expanded to 103 chapters nationwide. 573 children protected. 0 lost on their watch. Nathan Walsh runs literacy programs in Columbus schools. Partners with CPS for teacher training. Vincent Wire Sterling teaches financial fraud detection to social workers nationwide. James Bones Rodriguez trains first responders in recognizing child malnutrition. Tobias Hayes developed curriculum, recognizing signs of child abuse for educators, used in teacher training programs across America. Kate Mitchell, year 5 of 18, Robert Mitchell, year 5 of 22, both in separate facilities. No contact, no performance, just time. Lucas's law passed in 37 states, mandatory annual medical exams for all foster children, independent evaluations, documentation, oversight, because one teacher counted to 47, because one boy found courage to speak, because 103 men refused to look away. Lucas, 15, stands in his room, homework spread on desk, soccer trophy on shelf, photos of Callahan family on walls, and on nightstand, in small frame, the leather bracelet, 47, KL wings. He picks it up, runs thumb over worn leather, thinks about Katie, girl he never met, girl whose death gave him life, thinks about Tyler and Mia, children whose silence became his voice, thinks about Mrs. Sullivan, counting days when everyone else looked away, thinks about Priest, carrying grief and turning it into purpose, thinks about 103 men who dropped everything for a stranger. His phone buzzes, text from Scarlett. Movie tonight, Ainsley wants to see new animated thing. Lucas smiles, types back, yeah, family night, let's do it. Family, real family, chosen family, family that shows up, that stays, that counts. He sets down the bracelet, returns to homework. Ordinary 15-year-old doing ordinary things. But he remembers. He'll always remember. 47 days invisible, one teacher counting, 103 angels answering, one boy finding his voice and changing everything.